Guess what time it is? It is time for you to set up your very own Facebook group community. If you're watching this video, you're already interested in really making that next step, taking that next leap into setting up a Facebook group for success. You want to attract your ideal tribe, step into a bigger role of leadership, authority, and influence, and start taking people on a journey, leading them closer to your products, programs, services, and start attracting your ideal customers and clients. So I'm going to actually be showing you exactly what it looks like to set up your Facebook group for success, because I know it's very easy with a couple clicks of a button on Facebook to open the shell of your Facebook group. But before you start inviting people into your community, you want to have it set up. You want it to be very clear what type of group it is, and you want to have certain things in place that will allow you to generate leads, allow you to create more engagement, and have deeper conversation with the people coming into your community. Now, if you already have a Facebook group, stay here because you may not have some of these things in place yet. And I'm telling you, one of the best ways for you to attract that community is by building it out and bringing them all together in one place so you can grow a deeper relationship with them. Now, before diving deeper into this video, I want to make sure you did watch the other two videos in this Facebook group series that I've been doing on this channel, because it's imperative that you go forward with confidence that you are ready to build a Facebook group. It's a very big commitment. It's not something you want to start and stop and be inconsistent with. You also don't want to create burnout and overwhelm for yourself. So I do have two other videos I've done prior to this one that will talk to you about the benefits of growing your own community versus stepping into other people's Facebook groups, because you may be at a point where you're ready to, get out there and meet new people, but you're not ready to grow a group yet. Or if you're not sure if a group is right for you yet, I actually do an entire quiz asking you very specific questions to see if growing your own Facebook group right now is the next best move for you. So be sure to check those out as well. So before I flip my screen around and show you all the things that you want to have set up, I just want to say, hey, my name is Jen Johnson. If this is the first time you've ever been on this channel, welcome. On this channel, we're all about building business with God at the center, learning to lead like Jesus, creating content and products that will turn your purpose into profit, using your spiritual gifts, your zone of genius. So let's turn my screen around. I'm going to start to walk you through step by step all the things you want to have in place before you go promoting your Facebook group. All right, so here we are inside of Your Creators Corner. This is my Facebook group community. I'm going to be using my group as an example today a lot to show you the proper way to set up a group, my thought process, and what I did to grow to 1,000 members, and how you can do the very same thing. And I'm going to take you through from the very beginning, starting from scratch. So the first thing is, if you don't already have a group set up, this is the easiest part of creating a group, is actually setting it up. So we're going to head over to the home page, and over on the left-hand side, you're going to see where it says groups, and you're going to click on that. And then you'll just click on the create group button. Now it's going to bring up a box where you're going to want to name your group. Now, my rule of thumb with creating a group is to name it one of two ways. The first way you can name it is have it be named as a place where your tribe can gather. So Your Creators Corner is a place, it's a location where my tribe can really come in and learn how to create and learn from the creator. It's a little bit of a play on words here. And another way you can name your group is by naming your tribe. There's people who have groups out there that actually are named off of the tribe. I think of, lady bosses, or I think of social impactors. My friend Brian calls his tribe social impactors. My best friend Sherry Brown, she has the Mom's Marketing Lounge. So there's different ways that you can name it to where it's either a place or the name of your tribe. So those are the two places I would start with, coming up with a really quality name for your group. And then you do want to add someone into your community so that way you can actually open it up. So just add your bestie, add someone in there so you can get the group open. But down below is where you want to make some decisions on whether you want this group to be private or public. If this is a free community, I suggest that it be private, so only members can see what's going on in the group, because again, this is your tribe, this is your community, and if you want to grow it, People got to be on the inside of it to see what's happening. But so I would choose private, but then also keep it visible so people can, when they search those names or that name happens to pop up when they're searching something in the search box, your group still does show up. The only reason I would ever actually hide a group is if I was using a Facebook group to run a beta program and it was an actual investment or something like that, to where, you know, that group isn't actually something that can be found, but it's only delivered to people who are actually choosing to invest in being in that community, something like that. So essentially, to grow your group, you want it to be visible, but you also want to know, like, you know, they got to have the secret password to get in, right? They got to say they want to be inside and they want to answer the questions, which I'm going to go through with you here in a second. And then you would just go to create that group and it would create the shell of the group, and it would look exactly like mine does, just with no banner, which is something that we will get to as well. So now that we've named it, we know that it's public or private. Obviously, the first thing that people see is your banner. Now, I do have an entire Canva playlist that shows you how to create banners like this. This is something I did create inside of Canva. And I'll tell you, it's a little bit of a to-do in creating a Facebook banner of any kind, because you want it to be aesthetically fit for a laptop or a desktop, and you also want it to look good on a phone. So let me just show you what it looks like in Canva. I actually, created some white space down here because just the way that it fit on the actual banner itself, like, you don't even see this part, especially when it's on a mobile device. So the actual size of this here is 851 by 479 in pixels. So if that supports you, that's kind of what you want to do. If you create a Facebook cover, it gives you 820 by 312, but that Facebook cover is really optimized for a desktop. So to be honest, I do a lot of playing around with this. I have to, upload it and see if it fits on my desktop and my laptop properly before I actually post it. It's kind of a to-do, but you just want to have a really good quality banner that is going to have the title of your group, giving people a really clear message about what the group is about and who it's for is really supportive. And if you have some sort of freebie resource or giveaway, you definitely want to put that on there as well, because you want to always be leading with generosity, giving resources and freebies and information to grow the trust with your tribe as they're coming in. So this is actually a new guide that I'm offering to you today, Social Selling Quick Start Guide, that you'll be able to grab at the end of this video. And it just gives people the ultimate 5-step strategy to turn content into cash. And as you can see, this community is for coaches, content creators, and social marketers. So the resource is always relevant to the tribe. And the main idea behind this community is learning to build business with God at the center. So this is just to serve as an example for, what your banner could look like. And I do have videos on YouTube to support you with the Canva creation process. So the next thing you want to do once you have your banner created is set some rules. You got to set the tone and lead by example and show people how to properly show up in a Facebook community. As I mentioned in a previous video, I believe a lot of people are intimidated by showing up in groups because there is rules and they don't want to do it wrong. But if you set the tone in your rules properly, they will know how to show up. And you also want to invite them in and say, it's okay to be in conversation, but this is what it gets to look like. So let me show you the rules that I've set up. What you want to do to set up your rules is go to More and then Edit Group Settings. And when you head over to the questions area down below right here where it says Ask Questions, there will be another menu that pops up that says Create Rules. So we're going to create the rules. Now, obviously, just keep it really simple. What do you want from your community? What do you want to see? You obviously want people to be kind and courteous, and if you don't want them promoting or spamming anything, you got to tell them that this is not the place to be pitching and posting about your product and service. You also want to, maybe talk about respecting privacy. A new one that I recently added is just letting people know, hey, posting is allowed, but here are the rules when it comes to posting. It must be relevant to supporting the group, and it's okay to share tips and lessons and experiences. I think it's important that you tell your community what it is okay to do, and then also tell them However, if you're doing that, just leave out the links and the promotion, lead with generosity and support so you can get visible. So that's the rule that I created there. I want it to be a rule of thumb that it's okay to come in my community and be posting valuable information and sharing experience and wins and life lessons and all those things. It's amazing. And I get to empower my community to do that. You get to empower your community to do that. So think of the things that you want to have happening in your group, that you don't want to have happening in your group, and set the tone inside of the rules. Now, going back below here to where it says membership questions, this is a vital piece you have to have set up in your group. Before anybody can join your community, you want to ask questions. This is an imperative piece. I cannot stress that enough. Now, the questions you want to ask, you want them to be easy to answer. You don't want to deter people by having them have to think too hard about it. So one thing that's really cool now inside of questions is that there's different types of questions you can ask. You can ask multiple choice, which I think is great because, again, it takes the brain power out of having to think about it. They can just click on the boxes. You can do check boxes or a written answer. So I want to know from my community, being that this community is all about content creation, coaching, and social marketing, I want to know where they're at, and I want to know how I can better support them. So I want to know what they're currently creating so they can check. I have check boxes where they can check off content for social media and digital products like programs or courses, running a blog, podcast, or YouTube channel. These are things that I want to know about where they're at. So you can set up, fill in the blank type of questions here. And then the second things that I want to know is, what is your number one challenge or question when it comes to content and product creation? So you want to be very specific. You always want to know the pain point or the challenges that your community is going through, but don't just say, what is your biggest challenge right now? You want to be specific about a certain topic, because when it's too broad, people are like, well, I don't know what you're referring to. I'm not sure what to say. So what is it you really want to know about when it comes to their challenges? What type of challenges? Be very specific with this. This is a very important question that you want to ask, because this will A, allow you to create more content, B, allow you to reach out and support them deeper so you can have a one-on-one conversation and know where to start and not have it be awkward. Give them value. Is there a resource? Is there something you can point them to? Show them the support. And then the third question is, do you want me to send you something? Maybe it's your PDF guide. I created a specific welcome kit for my new members, and I share my favorite tips, tools, and resources. So I let people know, hey, drop your email if you want me to send it to you. This is how you can get people on your email list, by dropping this specific question and saying, hey, do you want me to send this to you? Most people put their email address. It's very rare when people don't. And then you can go ahead and opt them in because they're giving you permission to email them. Now you have permission. You can send them, you can, write out the name and email on your opt-in page, so that way they get onto your email list, and that email list automatically sends them the freebie you're talking about. So it's really imperative. I'll probably do a tutorial on that to show you what that looks like in one of the weeks to come. So stay on the lookout for that. But I think that's a very important thing to do, because now you know where they're at, you know where they're looking to go or what their next challenge is, and you can connect with them deeper. So everybody getting into your community is on your email list. Now, the cool thing that they have now is you can actually select to include your group rules as a thing that they got to check off and agree on before accepting the membership. So you'll see that they say they agree to it or they don't agree to it inside of when they're actually answering the questions. So let me show you what it looks like when people want to come into the group. I'm going to block out the names and things here, but this is what it looks like. Someone actually answered. They filled in the checklist. They're creating, running a blog, podcast, YouTube channel, digital products, courses, content for social media. So they're doing a lot right now. They're kind of further along, which is good. What is your number one challenge or question when it comes to content and product creation? How to automate your emails with lead magnets easily, just getting started and a little confused in this area. So I could totally reach out to her and give her support on that. And then, do you want me to send you my new member success kit? She said, sure. So she didn't actually put her email address, but what I could do is reach out and say, hey, I noticed you wanted to have the freebie. I just need your email address. And she can just shoot that over to me. But a lot of times you'll see that people will just put their exact email there because they're reading the entire sentence. And then, do you agree to the group rules? I agree. So once these things are answered, you can accept and message and reach out, welcome them to your community. Imagine this is you opening the door to your home, inviting them in. How would you greet them? Welcome, so excited you're here. You can reach out and message them and respond to what they're saying here. You can reach out and say, hey, I see you're working on a lead magnet. That's so exciting. What is that lead magnet about? I'd love to hear more about it and how I can support you. So now you're starting very intentional conversation. You're getting them on your email list, and they're actually following along. And what I love about approving people who answer questions is they're contributing. They're contributing before they even join. If people want to come into my group, but they're not willing to answer a few questions, they're not going to contribute to my community. And so therefore, they don't get to come in. You get to be compliant. You get to follow the process of what it takes to join the group. And that's an expectation that I have. And leaders are contributors. If you can't contribute to answering the questions, how am I going to contribute to knowing how to support you, right? That's a thought process that I have, and you get to set that kind of tone in your group as well. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that your URL at the top here is really easy to access. So if you don't actually change this and customize it, it's going to be really long and obnoxious, and it's going to be a challenge for you to be able to point people to your group. So what you can do is go into More, Edit Settings, and then you're going to want to go down to Change Address. And here is where you can put your own, what I call Pretty Link. Inside of blogging and WordPress, there's this plugin called Pretty Link, and you're making the link a lot prettier and easier to point people to, because now you can just say facebook.com/groups/ put the name of your group. And so you want to make sure that that name is available as well before creating the group. So that makes it easier for you to point people to it. And that way, again, you can redirect people. And another way that it makes it really easy, if you're out and about on social media and you want to, create a post and write something, another little hack for you is that if you want to point people to your group, you can just type the @ symbol and then start typing in your group, and it will bring up your actual private community here and hyperlink it, so people, when you post this, they can actually click on it and it'll take people directly to the group. Now, another important part about your group is the About section. This really gives people some insight into what your group is all about. So you want to have a good description here and let people know just why this group is what it is and why you created it, and maybe share a little bit about your experience or your journey, and just give people a little description about what they can expect to hear or learn or receive inside of this community, so that way they just have a little overview of what to expect. So make sure you fill out your About section. I always say intention is everything. Don't get mechanical around this piece. Like if you have to have, it look or say a certain thing, just lead with your heart. Like, what do you want to say? How would you welcome people if they were coming to your party? What would you want them to know about this community? And, just share from the heart with this and keep it real. A good rule of thumb is to include a link to the rules and attach that as a document or leading people to the file section. If you want to create a document in the file section about the rules, you can also create it as a landing page from your website if you have one. It doesn't have to be complicated, but you always want to be pointing people back to the rules so they know how to show up in your community. Also, you can put your links to, be connecting with you on other social platforms if you want to be driving traffic to your YouTube channel, your podcast, things like that, how they can connect with you on social via wherever you're hanging out, if that's Instagram, Facebook, all that jazz. So you can include those things in here as well. And the other place that you do want to create some information is by going over and creating a description over here on the right. So you do want to have a description in here. This is for people who are not in the group yet, and they can actually access, what the group is about. And, it could pretty much kind of be similar to the about section. So you don't gotta try to, use so much brain power to think about something different to say. You want to give people an overview of what the group is about, what to expect. They can, again, read the rules before they come in and make sure that hey, this is how this works inside this community. So be sure to fill out the description section as well. And the description is important because you want to make sure that, you have a little insight right here. When people are going to look for groups, they can actually kind of see a preview of what that group is about. When you put a little description there, it shows the first part of that blurb. So just something to keep in mind as people are searching for your group, that you're going to want to have that in place. Also, you want to create tags for your group. So let's go back into the community here. You would go to more. Again, edit group settings, and to create tags for your group is a good thing to do as well, because it, tags help people find groups that they might be interested in joining. So you want to type in relevant keywords that make sense for your group. So obviously, social media marketing, for example, would be one that I could, have on here. Social media marketing. I saw social media examiner pop up. It's not going to point people to that group, but it's just a tag that allows, when people are typing in these different keywords, to tie to your group. So your group can pop up in search higher up in that feed. Basically, it's optimizing your group so it can be found. So another one, Christian entrepreneur. So, I can type in, the Christian Women's Entrepreneur Group, so if any of these keywords pop up when people are searching, I just want my group to be found. So you can be putting those tags. You can put up to 5 tags in here as well. So that's another thing that you'll want to add. And then a fun little thing here, obviously you can choose your color. So when you're on your phone, it shows the color that you have picked out here. So if you want that to match, your banner and keep it aesthetically pleasing, that's always a fun thing to do as well. And now a really, really important piece that you want to have as you start building content into the community, before you start inviting people in, I highly suggest doing a welcome video, giving people a visual of who you are, welcoming them, letting them know what to expect. This is kind of like your about section, but in a video form. And you want to be very descriptive here with welcoming people. This is the first post they see. You can mark it as an announcement. You can tell them exactly how they can get started in your group by grabbing specific guides, or, for myself, I have a playlist that I like to direct people to, or some favorite videos. Again, you can put your social handles. Just let people know how you're accessible to them, how you're available to them, how excited you are that they're here. And then you can start tagging new members as they come into this community in this group on the comment section to let them know, hey, welcome, this is where you start. So you're always pointing your new people. As you can see, I can either write a post to welcome these members into the group, or I can actually copy their information and paste it in the comment section to say, hey, I just want to say welcome, this is where you begin. So think about doing a post or a video. I highly suggest video because you want to be the name and the face of your group. You want to be inviting, and if they can hear you and see you, it creates a deeper connection. So those are the pieces you want to have in place. I will be diving deeper into future videos around the types of posts you want to be putting in here and how to be marketing and attracting people to your group. So be sure to stay tuned for that as well. So that is how you create a community that is going to pop, and it's going to allow you to create success within your business, because now your messaging is clear, the right people can show up, and you can serve them generously, just as I want to serve you generously, which is why I've created a brand new social selling quick start guide to show you the 5-step social selling system that I use that will totally support you in growing out your community, ensuring you have the proper steps in place, the proper content in place to not just sell your products or not just find new clients, but to create a really amazing experience for them along the way. So be sure to head below to grab that brand new guide. I would love to support you in that matter. And I also want to invite you into my Facebook group community, Your Creator's Corner. This is where over 1,000 Christian entrepreneurs are diving deep into growing faith and business together, doing the work God has called you to do in this world, putting your own special dent in the universe, and also finding your messaging. One of the big things we talk about in this community is that your message matters. So going out there and finding the way to communicate with your tribe so that they can come to you and say, heck yes, I want to work with you. Heck yes, I want your program. Sign me up, bring me in, give me all the things. So be sure to check more information about that down below too. You can head over to yourcreatorscorner.com and just answer the questions, and I will see you on the inside of that community. Now again, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell, because next week we're diving into all the different ways you can start to get your community thriving and how to start inviting people into the community so you have a growing group. You don't want to miss that. So again, hit the bell, subscribe. So until next time, my friend, as always, keep the faith, impact the world. God bless, and I will see you soon.